The Red Phone Disconnect by James Shirley Barnes. Written Saturday, September 8, 2012. And I would declare by presidential order September 22nd, Redcoat Day. The throng of ghosts hovering over graves in a field outside of Gargantuan Cemetery erupts in silent hollers swept by ether that is within earshot of a boy riding a bicycle nearby outside his mother's ranch-style home along a country road in Texas. The boy on his bike suddenly stops and looks ahead along the country road near his mother's home and knows that he heard something, but he is not sure of himself. That is the date that Nathaniel Hale, a great American hero during our American Revolution, was executed by the British. Again, the roar of ghosts, cheering like live people, erupts from the cemetery up ahead of the boy about a half mile behind a clump of brush on his left in the distance. The boy places his feet on the pedals and rides reticently towards the sound that he is hearing. He glances back at his mother's house once during the ride. The boy rides mouth open, eyes scanning the paintless tarmac, and notices a murder of crows silently nestled in stubby trees a short distance from the cemetery entrance. He brakes his bicycle and puts his foot down. Peering at the crows on his right in the trees and at the cemetery entrance up ahead of arched stonework with an 8-foot-high wall along the front, he glances back along the route that he had rode from the house and cannot see the house beyond the slight curve in the road. A cacophony of calls sounds out and fluttering crows take flight in the dusk of a humid evening when the boy leaves his bicycle by the side of the road and enters the cemetery, closing the black wrought iron gate behind him. Inside the walls of the Gargantuan Cemetery, spirits seem to emerge from cavernous-filled earth graves with white crosses at the head of them, and the boy sees ghosts in a spectral visage amidst darkness shrouding his fumbling hands at his sides. Redcoat Day, because the British will be spreading minarets at Westminster for the 13-year-old Negroid who was Nathaniel Hale's executioner. You, boy! The boy looked up at the transparent figure on a hillock booming from across the gigantic cemetery. George, wake up! You're having a bad dream. Uh-huh, George says, reaching for a glass of water on his bedside table in the dimly lit White House master bedroom with a view of the front lawn and a black wrought iron fence at Pennsylvania Avenue. The red phone rings as he sips water and is about to again put his head on the pillow. Oh, hell, George exclaims as he sits up at the side of his bed and fumbles for the bedside table lamp switch. Laura robes herself and leaves the room. George Bush here. Mr. President. Yes, Jim? We just had word that there is activity at Arlington National Cemetery and cemeteries across the country. What activity? What's the date? Paranormal activity, sir. September 22nd. You fool me once, you can't fool me again. I am serious, sir. What paranormal activity? Lights. A spectral array of lights from one end of cemeteries around the country to the other. Haunting sounds of speeches without anybody physical there, like an aurora borealis, except the graves seem to come alive with transparent visages of people from the past. Evangelicals are praying, calling it Armageddon. NASA calls it an alien species visiting Earth. We think. Yeah, you think? George hears silence and a crackling sound on the other end of the red phone. The line disconnects.